Welcome back to Tendencies. I am your host, Jay Suave.
And I am Jreese.
And what a week it has been in the sports world. Pretty L for me. I mean, I lost like all my fantasies this week. I'm not gonna lie. We're on 4 leagues. I lost 4 times.
Trash.
So, I know, bro. It was a rough week for me. What about you?
Man, I, I'm only in one fantasy league, and I lost to Nick Porter because Brian Robinson couldn't score two touch. If Brian Robinson scored one more touchdown, I would have won. But you know who scored that touchdown, that rushing touchdown that I needed? Jaden
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, you son of a bitch.
Bro, it was actually kind of crazy because what's it called? I needed Dalton Kincaid to get me like 18 points.
hmm
All right, cool. He gets a touchdown in like the first quarter. I'm like, okay, I really might win this thing against 0-2 Lawrence.
hmm
The next thing you know, bro, he has Christian McCaffrey on his bench, gang.
I know.
I mean, not on his bench,
On the starting line,
starting. He has Christian McCaffrey starting, yeah. And he had someone else that was out too.
Debo.
And yeah, when I tell you, bro, I lost to two dudes who didn't play, but I think I started like Rashid Shaheed, and he didn't even get a catch. All right, bro, shut up, bro. But other than that, we saw college football this week. Really, the only games that really meant anything to me, really. Actually, I will talk about this. BYU destroying Kansas State was
That was
insane.
great.
38 to 9.
Bro, did you see the punt return, bro?
Yeah, I did whenever you sent it to me. I was like, that's. Bro ran so far. He's like, ooh,
I
ooh, ooh.
watched it live, bro. It
And,
was
and
insane,
dropped
bro.
it too.
Bro, I know he fumbled it initially. He ran backwards, then he ran all the way around down the sideline to score a touchdown. Bro was on the field. They had a close up of him throwing up just on the sideline after it had happened because bro was gassed because bro ran like they said like 170 yards to get that return,
Yeah.
which is crazy, bro. I don't blame him throwing up on that sideline. That's crazy work.
I would have been gassed too, bro. And the thing is, like, I mean, we saw Utah win this week too. They went over Oklahoma State, and now they're ranked 10th in the nation. And I said this like a couple of my buddies last week, and I don't know if I said it on the pod at all, but with Utah's schedule, you guys, them beating Oklahoma State might really have them go undefeated. And I'll say this because this is the rest of their schedule: Arizona, that's a dub. Arizona State, that's a dub. TCU, that's a dub. Houston, that's a dub. BYU, I don't know because they looked good.
hmm
BYU looked good against a ranked team. Then they play Colorado, which is a dub. Then they play Iowa State. Iowa State's looked pretty good on offense this year. They usually look pretty good on offense. Then their last game is going to be UCF. So Utah really has a chance to go undefeated this year. And even speaking of Colorado, they ended up taking the dub this week too. If you want
Crazy
to talk
win,
about
bro.
that a little bit,
Crazy win. Collar nail biter win on a Hail Mary to send them into overtime. And overtime, like
that was so
Shador
insane.
Sanders, 341 passing yards, two touchdowns, going crazy. And his O line, this isn't Colorado State. You can't. It's not going to be that easy to block these guys. And you could see all game that boy Shador Sanders was fighting for his life. But he still had 341 passing yards. Travis Hunter had 7 receptions for 130 yards, and the game-winning forced fumble in overtime. Everybody talking about corners can't tackle, corners can't do this. That boy laid that boom right. Bro got in on the run play, filled his gap. Bro went low, wrapped up, helmet hit the ball out. Just a perfect play to finish off the game. Let's talk about LeJounte Wester, bro. 4 receptions, 68 yards, and most importantly, the game, not the game winning touchdown, but the touchdown that sent him into overtime on a Hail Mary, which was absolutely insane, bro. Were you watching the game live when that happened?
Yeah,
Bro, how was you
I
watching?
like literally watched the last play, but I didn't see like the play before it,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't see him drop the ball.
That wasn't him though.
But the thing
It
is,
was what's
I know it wasn't. I'm saying the other guy. I
okay.
didn't see the other guy drop the ball. Then I come back to the crib. I'm watching the game, and I get like a lot of notifications because my stuff was delayed.
hmm
They were like OT, and I'm like, oh well, how did they get to OT? Because I see Shador sling it, and I'm thinking it's gonna go to Travis Hunter. Next thing you know, it's LeJontay Wester.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is
It was
insane.
crazy too because bro was rolling out to his left, right-handed quarterback. It was like a boot to the left, and like the fact that they left him in single coverage on a hail mary play is insane. Like that's something you should never
Hmm.
do. And the play right before the one that was dropped, like it was another single coverage situation. There was no safety help at all, and honestly, it was a blessing that he dropped it because he fell immediately after he dropped it. So I don't think he would have stayed up to get in the end zone, and they would have ran out of time because they had no more timeouts at that
Yeah,
point. So it honestly is a blessing that he didn't catch that first one because he was not in the end zone and he fell at like the 3 yard line.
yeah. Bro, another game I was so mad about. I was really hoping USC would beat Michigan this week. Lost by 3. Alex Orji threw 12 passes and had 32 yards, and they scored 27 points. Alex Orji didn't even throw a touchdown. You got Khalil Mullins, 17 carries, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's 9 yards a carry, gang. Donovan Edwards, 14 rushes, 74 yards. Alex Orji, he had 13 rushes, 43 yards. So they just ran the hell out of the ball. But literally, that's just I was really hoping USC would win that game. Then you had Tennessee versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma got bumped down around like 6 spots. I'm pretty sure they ranked 21 in the nation now. But Tennessee is looking good, man. And I saw this video. And it was like, is Tennessee just the Penn State of the SEC? And I was like, that's kind of real. It's like, no matter how good they'll be, I feel like they'll just never be able to beat Georgia or Alabama.
Hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
in the big games. So, I mean, they got a good squad. I'm excited to see the Georgia Bama game this week. We got to tap into that one.
George. Okay,
But
yeah, we got to tap in. Is
yeah.
that an early morning game?
Um, honestly, I don't know. Let me see. I hope it's not.
I
I
hope
was
it's
like a
not
two
too. I have
thirty
work
game.
that morning.
It's at 6:30.
Oh, perfect, perfect. I'm gonna be home by then. Take me a little nap. Tune in the game. I want Bama to win because you hate when I say roll tide because I'm not locked in like that for real. But like I'm good either way. I don't want Georgia to win. I hate seeing Georgia win, but
I also hate seeing Georgia win,
so
so I want
I'm
Bama to win.
I'm rolling with the Tide. I'm rolling with my boy Lotto. But if Georgia does win, I'm talking trash to Lotto afterwards. Even though I was rooting for Alabama in the first place.
Bro, I was talking to this dude today, and he was like, he wants he wants Georgia to win. He thinks Georgia's gonna win. I'm like, bro, there's no way the Georgia team that just only beat Kentucky by 1 point and only scored 13 points. They're not beating Bama.
Yeah,
And like,
because even though
you
they're
know me,
Georgia,
I'm a
it's not the same Georgia team, bro. It's like totally.
yeah,
It's not the same at
and
all.
I'm a Bama hater.
Hmm.
I'm a Bama hater. I'll hate Bama until really the day I die. But like, they are Georgia's not beating them
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah, there's no team I really hate in college football except for maybe Georgia, but not that's not even really hate. It's just a dislike, really. So,
Georgia was in the way of Ohio State's national title run, bro.
oh yeah, so you have to hate them.
I gotta hate them, bro. But I mean, either way, we're gonna transition into the NFL right here. Part of the weekly recap, I want to talk about this one game because I really wasn't expecting the outcome of it. And I feel like it's one of the most concerning losses of the week. And it's the 49ers. And I didn't think that they would lose this game. I thought it would be close
Hmm.
just because of like the injury things and everything. But I thought it would be a solid game because both sides had injuries. But I thought the 49ers would come out on the winning side, of course.
Me too.
And they just lost to a like damn near equal or if not more depleted Rams team who was also 0
Definitely more
2,
depleted.
desperate, desperate for a win.
Hmm.
You feel me? And it was looking like the 49ers was just gonna go crazy whenever it was 14-0. Next thing you know, the Rams fake the punt, get the first down, and they go down and score, and literally the rest is history. Like they were cooked after that.
Hmm.
But that game was crazy. And I feel like the only dub I really took this week is with the Carolina Panthers, baby. Come on now. Andy Dalton, are you kidding me? The Red Rocket
Man, I feel
coming
bad for
out.
Bryce Young. You gotta feel bad for
Bro,
Bryce Young.
I mean, I feel bad for Bryce, but like at the same time, I'm going to say this first. This doesn't mean the end for Bryce Young.
Hmm.
However, Andy Dalton playing the way he did justified his benching. You
Hmm.
feel me?
Exactly. Yeah.
And Dalton, exactly. Andy Dalton kind of proved that he could literally just not use, but he could help out this offense just in being at quarterback. You know, this is our first time scoring on an opening drive since 2022.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Back when Sam Darnold was quarterback.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And let me think about. We haven't had a quarterback throw 3 touchdown passes and a half since Cam has been here back in 2015.
So
That's crazy to think about,
insane, bro. Cause
bro. We suck.
like I was watching the game like this is like a bet because I definitely think this took another hit on Bryce Young's confidence because my confidence would have been shot right after that. After like you not only did you get benched, but the guy that you got benched for came in and showed you that you can score and go deep with his offense because Bryce Young was just throwing checkdowns after checkdowns. But I think that what Bryce Young could learn from this game was yeah, that old line is bad, but if you put a little bit of trust in them, they'll be able to hold their blocks a little bit long enough for you to make strong passes in the pocket. Obviously, Bryce Young isn't how tall is Andy Dalton? Like 6'4", six.
I don't know. I thought he was like 6'2".
I think it was like 6'4", but he's significantly
He
taller than
might
Bryce Young.
be.
That's all I know. You're not
He's
Bryce.
6'2".
Okay, 6'2". Bryce Young obviously doesn't have that height, but and he doesn't
Yeah.
have the same arm strength as Andy Dalton. But Bryce Young, we know we can get the ball there. He still has some arm talent. You know, there's a reason why you're taking number one overall. So hopefully that I think he can learn from behind Andy Dalton. Because I don't think Andy Dalton is gonna go out there and like play like this every week. But
Yeah,
he'll
of course not.
definitely he'll definitely show Bryce Young that if you put a little bit of trust in his O line, yes, you're gonna get hit a lot because this O line is not perfect by any means. But you will have those passes open in the middle of the field. You can hit those. You know, you got to be more decisive in your decisions. You got to trust your decision making a little bit more. Because Bryce Young, you saw he was really timid. If it wasn't wide open, he wasn't trying to fit a lot of those windows. Andy Dalton was slinging
Yeah.
those balls into the windows. Pause. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be really big for Bryce Young. I really hope he come because I really like Bryce Young. I really hope he comes out of this better, more better off than worse. You know,
Yeah.
obviously you guys aren't shipping him around because he was the first overall pick. Even though there have been calls made, probably from the Dolphins to keep it a buck. The Dolphins probably made a call in for Bryce Young to see if he's good. But I hope that Bryce Young, because I hope Bryce Young sits the rest of the year, honestly. Because I was hoping, like when he got benched initially, that he'd come back, like probably, I'll say like towards the end of the season. At this point, I really hope he's just out the rest of the season, just so he gets the whole season to really learn from Andy Dalton. You know, see the because it's really what he should have done last year, but they didn't because he's the first overall pick, so they want him to start immediately. Hopefully, he gets that chance to sit now, kind of like Drake May is doing, even though Drake May is a rookie, just like Michael Penix is doing, just like JJ McCarthy is doing, or what he was gonna do before he got hurt, because he was gonna sit no matter what. And Sam Darnold was gonna start no matter what.
Yeah.
Um, just just sitting right now is a lot better because you're not gonna go out there and be CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels. You know, you're out there looking like Caleb Williams, and you know Caleb Williams ain't looking great right now. So.
Yeah. And I kind of want to piggyback off you right there because what Andy Dalton showed is that the pieces were there,
Mhm.
and and it was able to stay in the pocket, at least be comfortable in the pocket, and at least like honestly, like I hate saying it's like a height thing because like Drew Brees exists, you know. So like I hate saying it's a height thing, but at the same time, like if you're not like ready to play in that situation, like you're not ready to necessarily be like Brees in a way.
Mhm.
But the pieces were there, he just wasn't ready to take advantage of them. You look at Andy Dalton, like the pass he threw down on the middle on like a 3rd and 9, and it was like Bryce would have never threw that. He probably would have thrown the check down
Mhm.
like 2 seconds earlier. You feel me?
Mhm.
to like things like that, like being scared whenever like the defensive line gets at least close to you. Andy Dalton did not give a damn.
The other
He
thing
said, "I'm gonna
I
stay in the pocket.
saw
I'm gonna
was
get comfortable in the pocket
my bad.
and throw it down the middle."
My bad. Another thing I saw was that I saw this on like a video on TikTok where they broke it down, where they made another good point that Andy Dalton didn't look to the checkdowns first. Bryce Young a lot of times looked at the checkdowns like that was his first read, but Andy Dalton looked out like see what was developing deep, see if he anything was developing, and coming back to the checkdown as a last resort. So I think that also is something that Bryce Young could do because if you like look at the checkdown immediately, you keep throwing checkdown after checkdown, the defense is gonna key in on that, take that away from you. If you look downfield, kind of move the defense with your eyes, like Andy Dalton was able to do,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to create a lot more things open. You know what I'm saying? Andy Dalton would look
Mm-hmm.
one way so he could move a linebacker to the right, clear up the left side of the field, throw a ball on a slant to the left side. You know, small things like that that Bryce Young obviously couldn't learn immediately just because he was so young. He was put in the line of action immediately like that. So now getting a chance to develop behind the Andy Dalton is not going to be the greatest quarterback for the rest of the year, but he will. He has that veteran leadership. How long has he been in the league? 14 years or something like that.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, so like he's been in the league a while. He knows how defenses work. So learning behind Andy Dalton is a seasoned vet. Great opportunity for Bryce Young right here.
Most definitely, bro. And I'm excited to see them next week. I'm pretty sure I think we have a tough game next year. I
The
think we play
Bengals.
like the Bengals or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Bengals.
Actually, that game honestly might not be too tough.
Honestly, I feel like y'all might win. The
Last,
Bengals suck. I'm sorry.
yeah, they suck. I mean, J.C. Horn just don't get fried. That's what I
No,
gotta
Jamar
ask.
Chase is cooking. No, I'm sorry, that defense is probably getting cooked. But I honestly think your offense won't do too bad against that defense because that defense honestly isn't that great.
Cam Taylor Britt's gonna talk all his cash and then get cooked.
Get cooked by Xavier
Bro,
Leggett. Xavier Leggett gonna say something. He gonna as long as I got them subtitles ready, bro. I want to hear Xavier Leggett say whatever he need to say.
nah, for real. He said something about Jaden Daniels before the game, and it was like they don't make Jalen Daniels do too
Oh yeah,
much.
he said
And
heard about Cameron Taylor Britt. That he
yeah,
said they have a really simple offense because he can't throw the
yeah, they said
ball.
like college
Yeah,
offense.
and then
Then
speaking of
Jalen
that
Daniels
college
went out there
offense,
and said, "Shh."
that brother Jaden Daniels went. They won 38-33. Jaden Daniels threw two incompletions. He was 21 to 23. That's the best completion percentage by a rookie ever. You know, in a game. 254 passing yards, two touchdowns, 39 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. No turnovers. Jaden Daniels is legit. I said it before the season. Jaden Daniels is gonna win offensive rookie of the year. Will he? Will he? I don't know because Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison are both playing great. But you know that award always favors the quarterback, so he probably still will win. But Jaden Daniels looking right now looking like he does deserve to be in that conversation because he's been playing great all season. It was a little slow for him starting off the season. He lost week 1 to I don't remember who he lost to, but then he came out won against the Giants without putting up any touchdowns. So I definitely think that this win shows that what a competent offensive coordinator can do for a team. Sorry, Caleb Williams, but that boy and Jay Daniels. I said it beforehand. I think Jay Daniels. I was more excited for Jay Daniels than I was to see Caleb Williams play. So.
Yeah, he just brings a different style to the league,
Mhm.
honestly. Good, but like honestly, he's been doing a good job at not getting hit too.
Mhm.
Cause like these boys, they look a lot bigger than him too,
But
just
he
like
has
weight
not been doing
wise.
a good job at avoiding hits because when bro running, bro still dives head first into contact, which is
Yeah,
he needs to stop doing that. He slid last night or Monday night, and the commentator was like, "Oh, a rare slide from Jane Daniels." I started laughing. I was like, "You ain't have to do my boy like
no,
that."
for real. Defense might get him soon. But
Hmm.
speaking of defense, the Steelers' defense over these past 3 games. Oh my goodness! Their first game, they played. I forget who they played. It was like the
Falcons.
Chargers.
Falcons.
Falcons.
Week one,
Yeah,
Falcons.
Falcons scored 10 points.
Hmm.
Second game, they play the Broncos, 6 points. Third game, they play the Chargers, 10 points. This defense has been averaging allowing 8 points a game
Hmm.
in 229 yards per game. That's almost like that's first in both categories, by the way.
Hmm.
And I don't care what anyone says. You can be like, oh, they played the Broncos, they played the Chargers, they played the Falcons. The Falcons beat Philly,
They almost beat the
so like
Chiefs.
that's what I'm saying. They almost beat the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Broncos lost their games, but like I mean, they just beat the hell out of the Bucks
Hmm.
last week. Bo Nix looked good.
The
They
Chargers
only
are
lost
2
to the
and 0.
Seahawks by. That's what I'm saying.
And
The
they had
Broncos
a really
lost.
dominant run game the first 2 weeks too. And that run game was not as dominant this last week.
That's what I'm saying. Like this defense is something legit.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I said this on the pod, but I know I said it to you directly. I was like, Patrick Queen leaving
Hmm.
is going to cause problems for him because he looked better with Roquan Smith. Because we knew whenever
Hmm.
they didn't have Roquan Smith, it looked like he was going to be on his way out because he looked terrible the year before.
Hmm.
And he was Queen played behind Cam Hayward, inside linebacker, right?
Hmm.
Literally during the game, he was like, "I love playing behind this guy because Cam Hayward's a beast on the inside."
Hmm.
And it like, if your defense makes your other guys better, the defense is going to be insane. And Mike Tomlin usually always has a solid defense.
Hmm.
And the thing is, I'm gonna say this about Cam Hayward too. Actually, this is the whole team. They're 20th in pass rush snaps, right? So people don't throw the ball against them much, but they are third in sacks. That's crazy work, y'all. That is crazy work. This defense is something legit.
TJ Watt, another defensive player of the year on his career. Low key might be Aiden Hutchinson though, because Aiden Hutchinson been going crazy too this year. But
Bro.
yeah, yeah, that defense is insane, bro. Shout out Justin Fields too, though. Like a lot of people,
No cap.
like Justin Fields. Like I'm not saying right now he's looking like a top 10 quarterback in the league. He's not, but he's doing what he's asked to do, and he's doing. And he doesn't have to do as much. He doesn't have to do as much. Doesn't have to do as much of a carry job as he had to do back when he was in Chicago. But I think that these are like honestly pretty similar situations. They both have really great defenses. The only difference is that they have a competent head coach and then a pretty decent O line. The O line's still not great. I don't think that the Steelers O line is great. That they honestly, I'd say the Chicago Bears have better weapons than the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense.
Most definitely, yeah.
But like that offense is just he's doing what he needs to do, and that's all you need. And honestly, at this point, I Lotto, I'm sorry, bro. I'm keeping Justin Fields as my starter for as long as like even when Russ is healthy, because Justin Fields has this team motivated, and I don't know you don't know how Russ is gonna fit in with that team once comes back, but you know how we Justin Fields fits because Justin Fields is playing really good football. So.
Most definitely. And it's looking like he's just like a lot more comfortable in the pocket.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this. Omar Khan kind of helped this team rebuild itself whenever they ended up getting their tackle they got in the draft, Troy Fatanu. And they also got Zach Frazier, which he started his first game against the Chargers, and boy did he look good.
Mhm.
So like, the thing is, Bears do have better weapons than the Chargers. I mean, the Steelers. Honestly, they have the better O line too. They're just not showing it.
Mhm.
At least I think on paper the Bears' offensive line looks better. But these dudes on the Steelers are protecting Fields with their lives,
Mhm.
which Fields has never really had. You know,
Mhm.
because whenever Fields is in Chicago, you got him running around everywhere, running outside the pocket, which is kind of what like other QBs have kind of done. Like Bryce Young will try to run out the pocket or throw something short because his offensive line freaking sucks.
Mhm.
But like over in Pittsburgh, it's a fist fight every play. Justin Fields feels comfortable in that pocket, and that's why he's doing so well. I mean, he only had 7 incompletions this past week, 25 for 32,
And
about
he's not turning
245
the ball
yards.
over that much. Like he's struggled with it in the preseason. We saw week one. I think he was a little loose with the football, but he honestly hasn't turned over the ball much since. I think he has that like one interception since then.
Yeah,
And like
he,
aside
he
from
threw
some
he
holding
threw
penalties, Justin Fields like would have had 200 plus yards last week too. I know he did this week. He had 245, but last week he had like 157. But he had a multiple big plays that were called back because of offensive holdings or something. So Justin Fields
Yeah,
is slinging
that's
that rock,
always the
you know.
worst.
So Justin Fields is slinging that rock, which people want to discredit, call him a running back. Mainly, we know why they call him a running back because you know what they do with that type of quarterback. But Justin Fields is a really solid quarterback, and I really think I thought he should have been given another chance in Chicago, but I'm glad he's given a chance with a team that believes in him, at least for now.
And yeah, bro. I mean, like, can't discredit the man at all. Ohio State alum right there, OH. So you always know I'm a rock with Fields. That's the reason why I wanted him to stay in Chicago. But I mean, honestly, it's looking like they would do better without him. To be honest, but we'll go ahead and get into our first main
No,
topic
no,
of the
no,
day.
no, no. We ain't going past this yet. I'm talking about Philly.
All
Like I
right,
said, Philly,
let
Philly,
me know.
Philly, get back. Philly, get back.
Oh my
You know what
goodness.
I'm
Oh
saying?
my
What
goodness.
did I tell you? I told y'all we were about to bounce back against the Saints. They're like, nah, you not you, but everyone else. They were like, nah, Saints just whooped the Cowboys. The Saints just whooped the Carolina Panthers. You guys are gonna get blown out too. What now? What now? We had 460 yards compared to their 219. Our defense came to play. They couldn't run the ball on us. Jalen Carter came up big. Quinion Mitchell came up big. Reed Blankenship, the milkman, Eddie Reed Blankenship, out there. Zach Bond, second in the league in tackles. Brandon Graham, year 14, out here affecting the quarterback. Jordan Davis had a sack. Big dog. We out there. Look, and aside from the two turnovers early in the game, Jalen Hurts played a pretty good game. Did he play great? No, not at all. He did not play great, but he played a good game and he led a game-winning drive. He had 311 yards in the air, 325 yards on the ground. That's what was it? 336 yards total. That's a pretty good game in my book. You know, he had the true turnovers. That fumble was just a crazy fumble. I don't know how he fumbled that. He just let go of the ball, which is like what the heck. The interception, was it a bad throw? Was it a bad decision? I don't think it was a bad decision. I thought it was a good decision with a pretty good ball, but it was a miscommunication with Devontae Smith, and so it looked like a really bad ball. So I'm like, yes, I'm not saying that interception's not on him. He shouldn't have thrown that in the first place. But normally, if that was AJ Brown or something, that ball's getting completed. That's a touchdown. So I'm really glad with what we did to that game. Dallas Goddard had a career high 170 yards, most receiving yards in a single game by an
He was on
Eagles
my
tight end.
bench.
Was
He was on my bench. I had Trey McBride starting, bro.
Oh my goodness, bro! Look, Dallas Goddard, love you, bro. I've been saying he's a top 5 tight end in the league, showing y'all he should be top 3, but it's that consistency factor. If he was more consistent, top 3 for sure. Just the inconsistency. I'm still saying top 5 though. Top 5, Dallas Goddard. He's a dog. Saquon Barkley, dog. Best running back in the league. See, hey, how many yards CMC have this year? No,
That's crazy work. That's crazy
I'm laying,
work.
I'm laying, I'm laying. But look, I told y'all, Saquon Barkley in this offense is going to show you a lot of what CMC brought to the 49ers when he came over there. And that's exactly what he's doing. He had 17 carries, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, one for 65 yards. He had another touchdown on the game-winning drive with the 2-point conversion. He got it himself. And like I told y'all, he had that same Christian McCaffrey effect. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, but the Eagles wouldn't win none of these games without Saquon. If it was Saquon wasn't here, you'd be 0-3." Why do you think we paid this man, bro? We paid him for a reason to go score touchdowns for our team. Do you want him to not score touchdowns for our team? Getting how much is he getting a year? I think like he's getting a lot. He's getting a lot of money a year. That's all I know. A lot of money a year. I think he's getting 12.5 mil a year.
And if y'all didn't have him, y'all would run a different offense. So
Exactly.
like,
Like we probably
it's
air
just
that
dumb
ball
to
out
say.
more, or have a Kenneth Gainwell. Thank God it's not a Kenneth Gainwell heavy team. But like the only thing that really cooked us at the beginning for the first 3 quarters, because it was 0-3 until the fourth quarter where it became 15-12, because we finally started to score touchdowns. It was coaching. Nick Sirianni was killing the whole team, bro, and I was getting so upset, bro. He left he left 12 points on the table from field goals that we didn't take in the first half because we went for the ball or for we went for it on fourth down 3 times in the first half. Jalen Hurts had the interception and he had the fumble. So why are we doing this, bro? Why are we get and then we kicked a 60-yard field goal in the third quarter. Like take like I like the aggressive attitude. You know what I'm saying? I never complain when Dan Campbell goes for it with the Lions because he gets it, and I like his energy. But Nick Sirianni, every time he goes for it, I'm always like holding on to my pearls. I don't have no pearls, bro, but I'm holding on to them, bro. Because I'm like, why are we doing this, bro? We don't need to be doing this right now. This is like it's always a 4th and 3 or a 4th and 4. Like 4th and 1, we have the automatic play. We didn't even. And then at the end of the half, why did we kick the field goal? 4th and 1, we have one timeout. If we get the first down there, we have 12 seconds to get the ball in the end zone with no timeouts. Just kick the field goal at that point, bro. Like, or if you're gonna
Yeah,
go for it,
it didn't make any sense
I'm
like at
saying,
all.
bro. Like, if you're
Even
gonna
if
go
y'all
for
would
it,
have
if
got
you want to
it.
risk it at that point, might as well just take a shot at the end zone. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you want to end the half, try to get a point, just go ahead and take a shot at the end zone. You know what I'm saying? But that made no sense going for it on fourth down and right there. So, well, Nick Sirianni needs to be better at his play calling and his situational awareness because he has some of the worst situational awareness that I've seen in the league. I think he's probably the worst, honestly, in situational awareness in the league. Like the only other one I would probably say is maybe John Harbaugh because John Harbaugh always takes his foot off the gas whenever he has a lead. I almost sold him the game against the Cowboys. Like John Harbaugh needs to stop doing that. But aside from that, I think Nick Sirianni is probably the worst game manager in the league as a head coach.
So what do y'all think y'all could take from this past week and also look at let's see how the Broncos played the Bucks and try to win this game next week. What would you say, at least?
Honestly, I feel like because honestly, our offense has been good all season. I really just think it's defense. Our defense needs to play with the same aggressiveness they came out this week. Because I remember last week we were 60% on our like 60 or 70% on our tackles because we had like 30% of our tackles missed. Right. This week we had 97 successful tackle rate. 3% of it was missed tackles. Like we need that aggressive, that energy. You saw Jalen
Yeah.
Carter at the end of the game. The bro was chirping. You know what I'm saying? Because not because they
Yeah.
were playing dirty all game. The Saints were playing dirty all game. You saw the late hit on Smitty. You saw the unnecessary roughness.
I don't think that was a late hit.
Okay, no, not that. I'm talking about after the play when Smitty's already on the ground. A dude dives on him, spits on him on the ground. You didn't see that?
Oh, where I
Like
just saw the hit whenever he was like
that one.
falling.
I would have called that targeting, but I'm not gonna say that was a dirty hit because he was playing through the whistle, so I'm not mad at that. The whistle wasn't blown.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. It was just a bad hit, bad situation. Then you
Yeah.
have old dude on the last touchdown of the game. He rolls Saquon's ankles. Saquon's already in the zone. There's the little twist, dirty. What's it called? Jalen Carter chirping, love it. Because we won that game without Mekhi Becton. He got hurt. AJ Brown was out that game. Lane Johnson got hurt that game. Devontae Smith got hurt that game. Brenton Covey got hurt that game. Like Darius Slay didn't play that fourth quarter because he got hurt that game. Like we was out down man outmanned right there, and we still came across with a win.
Yeah.
So I just think that same aggressiveness on defense because I think our offense is good enough to drive down that field on that Bucks defense. It's all about how our defense plays. Because if our defense plays the same way against the Bucks as they played against the Saints, we'll be good. If they play the way that we played against the Falcons against the Bucks, we're gonna lose that game. So it's all about aggressiveness on the defense side of the ball.
Most definitely, because the Bucks were getting picked apart by a rook.
Mm-hmm.
But now we will transition into that first topic. Speaking of the Cowboys, you have mentioned, are the Cowboys in trouble right now? They're sitting at 1-2, and I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to you because I know this something personal to you.
I said this before the season. I said this last week. The Cowboys are in trouble because of Jerry Jones. Bro made all those horrible decisions in the offseason. First off, I feel like okay, look, you could paying Dak, not tripping, paying him the most money on a yearly basis, that's crazy work. Before you paid Dak before you paid Micah. You waited so long to pay CeeDee Lamb the money he asked for at the beginning of camp that he didn't have no time in training camp with Dak Prescott. You see their chemistry is off right now because he didn't have all them reps in training camp. Like you see that Dak Prescott is getting all this money to not play pretty okay football. You know what I'm saying? He's not playing horrible football. He played horrible week 2. He didn't play good week 1, but he played pretty okay last week, even though they were losing by like so much. But you don't want to pay Micah that early, and Micah Parsons out there podcasting, being like Draymond Green after a loss on your podcast. Talking about we just got to be better. We gotta. Yeah, no shit. Y'all got to be better. You're horrible in the run, Micah Parsons. They run to you every play. And let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this stat right here. The team has allowed. The team has only rushed for 221 yards this season so far. That's 3.6 yards a carry. The opponents, and they have only 2 touchdowns. The opponents have rushed for 557 yards against them, with 5.4 yards per carry and 8 rushing touchdowns.
Damn.
I,
Damn.
I'm saying, bro, that rushing defense is cooked, bro. And when it comes time to play against Philadelphia, who has Saquon Barkley now, who just put up 147 yards against one of the, I think, the best rushing defense in the league, you're cooked, bro. You're cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like their pass defense is still pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, teams playing against the Cowboys realize they don't have to throw the ball really no more, because they're so susceptible to the run. You feel me? So at
Yeah.
that point, and at the same time, that offense isn't clicking. That offensive movement, that run isn't great. That run game isn't great. The chemistry between Dak and his receivers right now is not as great. Jake Ferguson I think he's out for a while. CeeDee Lamb, he's playing rusty, just like Brandon Ayuk, because they both sat out for training camp to get their contracts, and they haven't been with the team, so they're both rusty. So the offense starts off slow. When the offense starts off slow, their defense has 20 plus points in the first half, so the whole team is playing catch up for the rest of the game. You're putting yourself in such a pickle that you're you're just cooked, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the Saints just got cooked by us. I'm not saying we're a bad team. I'm saying we're not playing great football right now though. And y'all just got cooked by an 0-2 Ravens team. Yes, the Ravens had a lot of proof coming into this game, but this is also a team that just lost to the Raiders. So if you're going against a team with any chance, any little piece of a run game, like you guys play against the Chargers, you guys play against the Lions, you guys play the 49ers, even without Christian McCaffrey, just the Niners in general, because what's his old dude's Mason? What's his name
Shaq
from the
on
from,
which team?
for the Niners? The dude that's starting right now instead of McCaffrey because he's hurt. Something Mason, I
Oh
think.
yeah, Mason. Mason.
Yeah. So any like the Lions, the Niners, the Chargers, any team with a solid run game. The Browns, if they weren't idiots, probably would have done the same thing. But any team with a good run game is just gonna cook your team, just like the Ravens did, just like the Saints did. Christian McCaffrey had not Christian McCaffrey. Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns on your dome.
That's crazy work.
What's it called? I don't know how many.
8 rushing touchdowns in 3 weeks is so insane.
Derrick Henry
I'm
had
sorry,
160 yards, I think, rushing and 2 touchdowns on y'all. Like,
bro. They had 287 rushing yards in general.
like, bro, you guys are cooked.
Like
Like,
what?
like, fantasy superstar J.K. Dobbins is going crazy on y'all. Jaden Daniels, Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson are gonna cook y'all. I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna cook you. You guys are lucky you're playing the Giants this week. You know what? Malik Neighbors might cook y'all. I'm not gonna lie, Malik Neighbors might cook y'all.
Uh, I'm putting the over on Singletary. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you at all. Danny Dimes might have an 80-yard
Speaking,
rushing touchdown.
bro, speaking of parlay, the Cleveland Browns ruined my parlay this week. How do you? Okay, I'm gonna get off topic for like one
Oh,
minute.
go ahead, do your thing,
How are
bro.
you down? How are you down by 6 in the fourth quarter to the bro to the Giants, and then you have 6 drives in the fourth quarter, and you can't score one touchdown?
You know what's crazier, bro? They were spotted 7 points at the very beginning of the game
Oh,
because of a fumble on a kickoff.
oh,
They were up 7-0 to begin the game. They gave it up quickly. They scored one more touchdown the rest of the game.
Bro, the Cleveland Browns really got beat by the New York Malik neighbors.
Y'all got beat by the New York Daniel Joneses. Bro's not
Bro,
even
Malik
Danny
neighbors
Dimes no
literally
more,
beat
bro.
them
Bro's just
single.
Daniel Jones now. Bro can't be Daniel Dimes, bro. That's how bad the
Bro,
Giants situation is. Like Deshaun
the
Watson,
Cowboys, y'all are
you're
losing to
cooked,
that
bro.
next
They're
week.
drafting a quarterback.
Most definitely. Start Jameis, bro. Screw it.
Bro, start Jameis,
Might as well
please.
start
I
him.
love Jameis.
Might
Like,
as well start him.
but yeah, bro, that's all I have to say about the Cowboys. I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about them, bro. I feel like I pretty much said a lot, most of it, but
I mean, yeah, you hit it on the nail. Most definitely. But I mean, I'm gonna say this for sure. Micah too worried about that damn podcast instead
Draymond
of being
Green,
down. Literally. But at least Draymond won a championship, then hopped on the podcast
yeah,
after.
4 chips.
Like that was real. Like he got 4 chips. Micah just kind of exists, bro. And like I can't wait till they like if they even make playoffs, they're gonna lose the playoff game, and we gonna see the podcast
They're not making the
open at
playoffs.
like them 1 in the morning.
They're not making the playoffs.
But
They're
I
not.
don't know. I'm just
They're
saying
not getting
if.
top two in the division. I'm saying that now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Commander's gonna be nice.
Hmm.
But I'll say this too. The team is just honestly soft, bro. If you're the team's best defensive player and they run at you every time they run the ball, we said this same thing. Like, we can probably pull this up from last year's podcast, from week 3 specifically,
Hmm.
whenever they played the Arizona Cardinals and James Conner rushed for like 120 on them. Like, they ran at Micah every single play. And honestly, the offensive line last year for the Cardinals, like, I mean, it wasn't too crazy, but it was crazy enough to just run the hell out of the ball.
Hmm.
And, like, and the thing is, Ravens rushed for almost 300 this game, and the Cowboys just looked choppy into the end, like inconsistent passing attack, inconsistent running attack. I mean, you brought Zeke back for what? Honestly, you might as well just start Deuce Vaughn.
Hmm.
Like, you feel me? But I mean, like, this has been the formula over the last 2 years. And they've been good at home, which is going to stop just because teams have their formula now. You feel me?
It already stopped. They just got
And
blown out. The last 3 home games, they got. Let me think. I think over 100 points put on them because they got 40 bombed by the Packers. They got 40 bombed by the
yeah,
Saints, and they just got 28 put on them by the Ravens. At
it's
home, y'all
crazy
doing all
work,
that
bro.
running into the stadium for what? To watch y'all team lose every week? Are y'all Carolina Panther fans? Sorry, bro. Sorry about that, Stray. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, bro. All right, bro. See. I'm over here catching a stray. I'm catching a stray for what right now, gang? But yeah, bro. I mean, it's just crazy to think about, bro. And the teams they played against, honestly, are cooked now. I mean, like I remember talking about last week. The Saints won't look as good as they did the first 2 weeks, and they didn't in week 3.
Hmm.
Like I seen Sam Darnold. I seen Sam Darnold be 3-0 with the Carolina Panthers. You feel me? And speaking of 3-0, who are we thinking is the most legit? And I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this because I was already talking about it. I think the most legit is the Vikings here. And honestly, I know because who are all the undefeated teams right
The
now?
Bills, the
You have the Chiefs,
Vikings, the Steelers, the Seahawks,
Chiefs,
and the
Chiefs and Seahawks.
yeah, yeah.
So out of these teams, I think the Vikings are the most legit. I mean, like you've seen the Bills play. Like, I mean, they're undefeated. They've won their games by a margin. But it's just the fact that wide receiver room, it just has to develop. You feel me? And I don't know if I can like put them as most legit, even though we've seen them win some good games. Honestly, the Kansas City Chiefs are just the Kansas City refs. Like, like what?
Hey,
Then
Why is Derwin James out this week, bro? When you're playing the Chiefs, and that's a little suspicious. Hmm.
nah, for real, bro. And it wasn't even that bad of a hit, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Was it?
Then, then you got the Seahawks, bro. I mean, they beat the Broncos by 6, and I'm not gonna be like that guy saying you only won by like 6, but because a win is a win. But beat the Broncos by 6, beat the Patriots by 3 in overtime. I thought the Patriots looked good the first 2 weeks. They didn't look good this past week.
Mm-hmm.
But then also they beat the hell out of the Dolphins, which is good. They're sitting at 3-0. But I don't know. It's just something about them that
I
like it
agree,
doesn't make me feel like they're like legit. You know,
bro.
like honestly,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
can.
I'm gonna say they low key
What
feel like the Philadelphia Eagles last year.
really?
They
What makes you say that?
winning all those close games, but like really, those are games that they should have put away. You know what I'm saying? Saying it'll get better,
Yeah,
but then we got had that
like
collapse. I
being
don't
an
think the
OT
collapse will
with the
be as
Patriots
hard.
is crazy.
I don't think the collapse is gonna be as hard, but I definitely think this is this year's, you know, like that undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers squad, the under Philadelphia last year. I definitely see the Seahawks being that
Yeah,
kind of team this year.
yeah. And honestly, I like this. I like this Mike McDonald ran defense.
Hmm.
Everyone's flying around. Everyone's hitting each other. Looks like a good defense.
Yeah,
However, you got to start winning these games by more if you want people to think you're legit.
exactly.
Now, saying that, the Minnesota Vikings. Oh my goodness. We just saw this team win by what, 26 points
Hmm.
on Sunday?
Yeah,
And
34-7.
yeah, like this was something that I thought the Texans were at least going to drop there. I thought it was going to be a shootout, to be honest.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Texans have somewhat solid DBs. They look good in the preseason. In these last 3 weeks, they haven't looked too promising. I won't lie.
Hmm.
But the Vikings came out. They said we don't give a damn what anybody thinks. Sam Darnold, 17 for 28, 4 touchdowns. Aaron Jones had himself a day too. And he started on my fantasy team. I was so happy. Then you had Justin Jefferson, 6 receptions, 81 yards. Like, we're really looking at the next Randy Moss here. I ain't gonna lie. We looking at the GOAT. We
I
are
agree.
looking at the
Bro
GOAT,
might
bro.
when all said and done, might be the best receiver of all time. If he needs to
That's what I'm
win some rings
saying.
though. He needs to win some rings though.
Not for real. Because I feel like that's like the only thing really separating one from another. I mean, Randy Moss has no rings, but he's also compared to. Well, I
Barry
mean, if you
Rice.
put Calvin up there, Calvin has no rings.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I feel like the longer people are going, the more time that passes, everyone's just gonna be like it's either Randy or
Hey,
Calvin.
off topic, bro, but look, people got to put my boy Larry Fitz up in that conversation. Larry Fitz, Mr. Consistency, bro, himself.
Yeah, I think he's top 10. I don't think he's the best though.
I'll put him in my top five.
Um,
He is my favorite receiver of all time, so I'm biased.
yeah, but I think in Sam Darnold, I know it's been 3 weeks, y'all, but we did this last year too. We said Brock Purdy was an MVP candidate week 3 last year. I think Sam Darnold. Saying this in 2024 is crazy.
I was about
But
to say the same thing. Hey, bro, this is like that. This is like the opposite of when he started in Carolina. We said the same thing. We were like, this is gonna. We knew it was gonna end. This might not end. This might not end.
bro, this offense is crazy. And, bro, you got to give props to Kevin O'Connell.
Hmm.
And you have to give props to Brian Flores, too. Because you see, bro, I'm watching the game, right?
You heard Purdy after
They
the
got
game, bro.
six.
You heard Purdy after the game in week 2. He went up to Brian Flores himself, said, "Bro, your scheme is crazy."
That's what I'm saying. But you look at last week. You see Harrison Smith up in the box. You see like 6 guys in the box. You're like, okay, they're definitely
That's
blitzing, right?
cover zero, bro. It has.
They 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 snap the ball game. They go into
I
Tampa.
know.
Bro, Harrison Smith is hauling ass. Like, Brian Flores, you're a maniac. You are a maniac. And literally, it worked, bro. It's crazy to think about because Brian Flores, what?
But like the thing is, I've been on that Brian Flores trade since like he was in Miami. I was like, bro was such a great head coach. That's why I was so mad when he got fired, bro. Because like understand the turmoil between him and Tua, but bro was a great defensive mind, bro. Then he went over to the Steelers. He did his thing in Pittsburgh. You already know. And I thought the Vikings defense was pretty good last year too. But they weren't just they were riddled by injuries and stuff. So the team looked bad. But the defense is great last year too. You know what I'm saying? But now they got all their pieces. They're moving. They got Stephon Gilmore. They got old dude from the draft. What's his name?
Um, what's it called?
From the on the
I
edge.
forget.
But bro was going crazy too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing is with this, bro, like Sam Donald's also the first. I think he's the first quarterback in Vikings history to win his first 3 games and throw multiple touchdowns in each game too.
Hmm.
So I mean, he only had like 181 yards, but whenever you throw 4 tuds with that,
That's
you're
efficient, bro.
solid.
That's efficient football.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'll say this to end it. I won't say too much because I watched him in 2021 whenever he was 3-0.
Mm,
But he looked a lot better right now at 3-0 than he did 3 years ago at 3-0.
hell yeah,
So I'm gonna finish off with that.
man. I agree with you, bro. I also have the Vikings. I also said the Bills because I think the Bills are the second best 3-0 team in the league right now. Just mainly because of that guy. I think their defense is playing pretty good. Like even though it's crazy to say they just blew out the Jaguars, but the Jaguars aren't that great. I told you about Trevor Lawrence. I told you about Trevor Lawrence last year. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody want to believe me. They say give him time. But they didn't look great week one. The defense, they almost lost to the Cardinals. But Josh Allen is playing the best football of his career right now. Is it Diggs' fault? I don't know. He's saying he said the players aren't worried about stats right now, and that's why they're winning. So was that a shot at Diggs? Most definitely. But
Yeah, it's gotta be.
but the only thing with the Bills is like, and James Cook has gotten better every year he's been in the league. But the thing with the Bills is Josh Allen is doing everything. On the Vikings, it's the whole team that's playing great. So I agree the Vikings are
Yeah.
the best looking team. That's 3-0 right now. And you know what's crazy, Jay? They're missing pieces still on offense, and that offense is still looking electric. They're missing Jordan Addison. T.J. Hawkinson still isn't here. So imagine when both of them come back.
It's scary, bro. It's actually scary to think
It's
about.
crazy. Like I can't hate on the Vikings, bro. The Vikings are just fun. Like it's just such a great team all around. You know what I'm saying? There's like nobody on the
It's just a good vibe team.
yeah. It's like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. Like that's the vibes that give off. It's just electric fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if I would compare it to 2022 Philly.
I feel
I
like
would
just the
probably
vibe. You know
compare
what I'm
it to
saying? Maybe
like,
not. Maybe not like the talent, but I feel like the vibes are the same, bro.
I think I would probably compare it to like, I don't know, like they're gonna win more games, obviously,
Hmm.
but the 2019 Raiders, whenever they went 7-9 and almost
Hmm.
made the playoffs, that team was kind of fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
they're I don't know. That's just the vibe they remind me of. Like it's like how during the NBA season we're gonna get a team that reminds us of like the Nets, like in 2020.
I
You
don't.
feel
I
me?
don't think so.
So
There's not another team that I'm like. I think that was the most fun I've had watching a basketball team. I'm so mad they all got hurt in that playoffs. That's a whole other topic for the other day. I really want them to win that ring. I'm so mad they lost.
yeah, I mean we're gonna go ahead and get into our games of the week, and I'm gonna go ahead and have you start this off for me because honestly there are some pretty good games this week, and there are honestly some pretty like okay games like they're gonna win. But honestly, we've seen a lot of underdogs win some
Especially
games
last week.
in these past 3 weeks.
Oh no, last week,
So
week two,
I'm
week
gonna go.
two, week two
Yeah,
was
week
really
two was crazy.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the floor.
I would say Philly Eagles. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, like out of all the games, it was just not one of my top three favorites. You know what I'm saying? Love Philly, but sorry, buddy, you didn't make it this week. I'm gonna start off with the Commanders and Cardinals, especially after that win last night on Monday Night Football from the Commanders, and then playing the Cardinals, two electrifying quarterbacks that are really great on their feet. You got a young stud wide receiver in Marvin Harrison, and a new head coach over there in Washington. I think that game should be fun to watch. I hope it's really good because I honestly think it's going to be a pretty similar game to how it was on Monday night. The defense Loki getting cooked by Jamar Chase. That's going to be Marvin Harris on the other end, and Joe Burrow. That's going to be Kyler Murray. That's 5'2" Joe Burrow for real. Um, um, But I think that's gonna be a good game. Who I think's gonna come out with that game? I hope it's the Cardinals, so that Philly can take a lead in the division. But it's probably gonna be the Commanders. Um, because the Commanders just look really good. Frankie Louvu and yeah, and Jeremy
I
Chin
miss that
and
man.
Jeremy
I
Chin both looked
miss.
great on Monday. So I felt they kept calling
Uh,
their names. I was like, dang, I know Jay watching this game sick right now. But
I miss them, bro.
that's who I have as my first one. I got Vikings and Packers. Whether it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis starting, I'm excited to watch that Packers team play that Vikings team. First matchup in the division between these two teams, and I felt good watching Malik Willis kind of show like everyone that doubted him last week that he's got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Drop 30 beans. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy though? People are saying that even when Jordan Love is healthy, Malik Willis shows more than Jordan Love has this season. I think that's crazy. Jordan Love just got paid all that money for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Love is
Yeah.
great. He's a top 10 quarterback in his league. Malik Willis, don't get me wrong, he's been looking really good. I think he could start somewhere next year. But I think him sitting behind Jordan Love this season is really gonna help his development even more. So, but either way, whichever one starts there, I think it's gonna be a good game. It should be interesting to see what Sam Darnold does against that Packers defense because that secondary from the Packers is really good.
Xavier McKinney is looking like a dog out
Hmm.
there, and I know he's like built like a dog, but this defense looks different ever since they got rid of Joe Barry.
Yeah,
So
like that defense might cause a couple of problems for Sam Darnold, and because I don't think he's gonna be able to throw that ball, sling it to Jettas like he can't like he was these past 3 weeks, because there wasn't a corner out there like Jair Alexander, a top 5 corner in this league.
yeah,
So that should be a good game. And then I also have the Chargers and Chiefs. Also, obviously the Chargers are missing Derwin James, but I think that the Chargers have a pretty solid chance at giving the Chiefs their first loss of the season. But you could never tell with the refs. So
most
who
definitely, bro.
knows?
It's gonna come down to the last possession, and they're gonna
Again,
launch a field goal again,
pass.
and it's just so frustrating, bro.
There's no pass interference called in the play, which is crazy. They really they should be 0-3 right now. Actually, yeah, they should be 0-3 right now. I'll say 1-2. I feel like they earned the Ravens game. They didn't earn the other two.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. But I mean, the good games for sure. I'm gonna go start off with my. I'm gonna just go with what you had already. Vikings versus Packers, and I'm so excited for this game because we're finally starting to get into like the divisional games. We're starting to see what really matters this year, right?
Hmm.
So, in this game, I'm excited to see the matchups: Jets versus Jair. We saw this last year. It was kind of for each side, but it's just the way that they both talk to each other. They're both shit talkers, bro.
Hmm.
So I'm so excited for this game. My second game, I have Saints versus Falcons. I'm hoping the Falcons come out with this because I'm praying for the Panthers to win.
Hmm.
I need them to even up the division. So I need everyone to be 2-2. But I'm excited for this game just because I think Rashid Shaheed bounces back. Because if I start him again this week
J.C.
and he
Horn.
gets 0 points, if I start him again and he gets 0 points, I'm gonna crash out. But my third game is gonna be the Bills versus the Ravens. And honestly, like we've seen this matchup before. It's honestly one of my favorite matchups in the NFL. I always loved Lamar versus Josh Allen. It's like one of those matchups where it's like there's no like media beef between these two teams, you know?
This is a
Like
rivalry.
it's just good.
It's a good
Yeah, like
football.
it's just good football,
Yeah.
you know? Like every time you see I don't know, Lamar versus I don't know, the Steelers, Burrow versus Mahomes, Lamar versus Mahomes.
But the
Like
thing is,
that like
with
that's
Burrow
all.
versus the Chiefs, there's always the build up to it. There's always the conversations between the players. You know what I'm saying, before the game. Chiefs, I mean the Bills, Ravens, both teams don't really talk like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just good football.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be my third game. I'm just really excited for that one because honestly, if the Ravens can get them another win, then honestly they might go on a little streak. I
Hmm.
won't lie because they can get that win, knock off the undefeated Buffalo Bills, then the next week go out and play the Bengals, which is another rivalry. They honestly got some games coming up, bro. They honestly have a pretty tough schedule for the next 4 weeks.
Hmm.
So they can go ahead and be someone who's undefeated. And just imagine the Bengals lose next week, and then they go out and beat the Bengals too. That would be really scary for the Bengals. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the Bengals are cooked this season. I feel like if they were gonna win any of these games, they should have beat the Commanders on prime time. But
Yeah,
I feel like now they're just too deep of a hole.
most definitely, bro. But those are our games of the week. We're gonna go ahead and get into our top five teams. And I'm not gonna lie, mine has switched up so much. And I say this because like I feel like once you get to week three, you kind of see like what teams are gonna pull away. You kind of see what teams are cooked. You kind of see what teams can make a run for it.
Hmm.
Correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my five. I really couldn't put anyone else in five right here just because they played a solid game against a solid team, the Detroit Lions. And I feel like they just need to fix their red zone scoring. That's like their main problem,
Hmm.
scoring in the red zone. And that's the reason why they don't score as many points because they just can't score there. Then at number four, I have the Seattle Seahawks. I love the defense. I know I keep reiterating that. They're 3-0. It's a good 3-0. And winning is winning, I
Hmm.
will say. Number three, the Minnesota Vikings. Them winning by 26 points over the Texans is a statement game. And it had to put them in my top five. And they're definitely better than the Seahawks, and they're definitely better than the Lions. Number two, the Buffalo Bills. This offense has been prolific through Josh Allen, but they still need to develop that wide receiver room.
Hmm.
And number one, I still have the reigning number one from last week, the Kansas City Chiefs, because they always seem to get it done. And I know I say this every week, but like, there's just no one I can put over them, even though I hate how they win every week.
Hmm. Hey man, that's a good list, bro. God, I hate the Chiefs. I don't even hate the.
I do too,
It's like
bro.
it's just it's just like it's not even hate for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Patriots.
It's just like
It's like the
damn.
Patriots and they were good. Like you hate them
Yeah,
because they're good, but like now I don't really mind the Patriots. I have no problem with the Patriots at all anymore because they suck.
yeah.
But it's just the Chiefs are just so good. But at number five, I really wanted to put the Steelers here, but I didn't because like I said, like we said, the defense is insane. The offense has been playing really good against under Justin Fields, but that lack of weapons on that offense just makes you feel like things will run out sooner rather than later for them. So I have instead at number five, that bias is coming back out. That Philadelphia Eagles, you know what I'm saying? A
Bro,
good
y'all are not five.
look. A good bounce back win against a good team that's put up 90 points in the first two games of the season. I think that we show that we have all the pieces that we need to be the contender in the NFC. But it all comes to coaching. Out at the day comes to coaching and game management decisions. And like I
A
said
game y'all
earlier,
should have won by more too.
exactly. We should have won a lot by a lot more, and we should have blew the lights out on the Falcons. We should have won by more against the Saints, and we should have won by more against who do we play? No, actually, the first game that was a good game. The first game we won exactly how we should have won. A close, gritty game against a good opponent. But we should have won against the Falcons, and we should have won by more against the Saints. But like I said, it's been coaching decisions and game management that he's been struggling with ever since really the Super Bowl. So I think that the Eagles are really. I think the Eagles could be higher, but they're not because they're 2-1, and we have those issues holding us. At number four, I have the Houston Texans. Even though they just lost by a lot to the Vikings, they just lost by a lot, a lot. I still think the Texans are still an all-around team. I think it's better that they lost that one now than later, because I think if the Texans got on a losing, like started off on a mean win streak and then lost later, that would have just not been great for the team overall. I think this is a great chance for them to bounce back, to fix some of the issues they have within. Because CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud is that guy. We know this. He played great last year, but he's honestly been off to a slow start all season. He struggled against the Bears, who have a really good defense. He played pretty okay against the Colts, but the Colts aren't a great team, so he didn't have to do much to win by 29-27. And then he obviously just got blown out, had a 2 interception game against the Vikings defense. So I think that Houston will bounce back. I think it will be a strong bounce back comeback. But yeah, my top three is the exact same though. The Vikings at number three. That defense is insane. Um, Brian Flores is crazy. Um, what's old dude's name? The head coach,
Kevin McConnell.
Kevin McConnell. Great game plan, making Sam Darnold an MVP candidate. Between him and Josh Allen's probably the front runner, and Sam Darnold's the runner up. But it could go either way right now after week 3. So it like it crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, a Sam Darnold led team is in the top 3 NFL teams of the week on both of ours. Who would have thought?
That's crazy work.
If only it was
No
like
one
that
would
on the
have
Carolina
thought.
Panthers.
He should have. He should have been MVP.
How many games did y'all win after that? 1,
Two.
2.
Yeah. Because we ended up winning the week that Cam got back against the Cardinals, and I think we won like the last week or
Was that the
something.
same season that Cam came back? I thought that was like the season
Yeah.
before.
That was the
I'm
season. That was
back.
2021, 2022 season.
But yeah, number 2 got the Bills. Josh Allen, incredible, playing an MVP level football. Like you said, the receiving core is young. Need to develop more. The only thing that I didn't want to put them at number 2, but just because they're winning and Josh Allen's just playing such an incredible level of football right now, I had to put him at 2. But I still think that
Yeah.
defense is still pretty weak. Because this is a team we did expect to take a big step back. And the fact that they haven't is really a testament to Josh Allen, his leadership, and Sean McDermott as a head coach. So I think that the Bills deserve to be at that 2 spot. Number 1 is the Chiefs. I hate you. I can't wait for you to lose so you can get off my list.
If
But that hasn't
they
happened yet.
lose one game, would you drop them down out the whole list,
Probably not.
no matter how they lose? I was
Probably
about to
not.
say.
If they get blown out by the Chargers, I might have to move them out of my top 5. But they're not gonna get blown out by the Chargers. If they lose, it's gonna be like a close,
Yeah.
gritty win from the Chargers. So
Yeah.
they'll probably move to like 4 or something. But I hope y'all do get blown out so I can take you out of my top 5. Y'all are pissing me off, especially Travis Kelsey. Just give because I have you on my fantasy team. Patrick Mahomes, he had a better week. He had a better week. Kelsey, he had 7 receptions, 70 yards. Not bad. I think that's what it was. No, it wasn't like that. I had 7 points. It was something for 77. I don't know. You had pretty good game. But I need you to get 20 points this next week, please. Derwin James is out.
He always does good against the Chargers. Like, you shouldn't be worried.
I don't know, but
But
I'm still worried because it's a regular season. He doesn't come alive to the playoffs. We know this. So
yeah,
that's my top five.
I just remember a couple years ago, whenever the Chargers looked like they were gonna win. Like, this is the year where I was like so high on them, and Travis Kelsey gets like a 50-yard pass and just takes it all the way for a touchdown.
And then there was last year when
But
he got body slammed
yeah,
by Derwin.
but
Suplex.
and I wonder why he's not playing. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap up everything we have this week. If you tuned in, thank you for tapping in with us. Let us know what are y'all top 5 teams of the week. I know everyone's list probably changed this week. Let us know how y'all feel about the Cowboys, because I know that we got a lot of Cowboys fans in our mentions. A lot of Cowboys fans that watch this, so let us know how y'all feel about it. We might get some hate for what we said, but it is what it is. So,
Hey man,
but
crazy episode. Crazy stuff happened in football. It's an hour and 10-minute long video or podcast episode.
yeah.
So, all right,
Man,
appreciate you
it's been a
guys.
good one. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all later.